There you probably have sound. A little discombobulated this morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm just happy that I haven't poured anything on my desk or anything. Well. All right. Woo. I've had electrical outages and power issues and all kinds of stuff, so I'm trying to get my bearings. But everything's going to be okay. Got a good crowd this morning. Holy cow. Shamba, good to see you. Joe. John, welcome. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you. John Alesh in the chat. I go back with John quite a while. So some of you know what I do professionally every day. There's nothing better than, interacting with a client and finding out they're a role-playing gamer. So that's how I know John. Good to see you, man. Let's see. Joe Harrigan, morning. Good to see you made it back to civilization. Hope the fam is good. Wayne, morning. Ryan. Tad. Just a little roll call action. Aaron, morning. Thanks for letting me know you're here. Blake, video good, audio good. Thanks, Blake. Blake's my audio guy, video tester, making sure everything's all good. Mr. White and Roger Frenchet. I actually play a game with Roger at 10 today, right? Roger, 10? 10 o'clock? All right. For those of you new to the Saturday morning extravaganza you're about to witness, I'm Sean. I used to host a podcast called Gaming and BS for some time with a buddy of mine named Brett. And many of you I know from that podcast. And if you haven't listened to it or haven't heard it, it's still out there. You can go to gamingandbs.com. Actually, if you go there, the episodes aren't there. They're actually on, I guess it's Spotify now, so it's hosted there. But if you go to the website, it'll point you in the right direction. It's been out of commission for, today is June 1st, so June 27th, so it would be 2 years, I think, this June. Would be 2 years that it has been sunset, but there's plenty of hours to listen to if you're interested. Anyways, so I get here every morning, 8 o'clock Central Time here in the U.S. and go over some like print news and use some pretty standard web resources, websites to go over. Some of you probably are familiar with some of these websites. I talk about RPG stuff. Mostly it's like new releases, some crowdfunding campaigns. Maybe there's a topic du jour. But I will say this. Every Saturday I try to have a question of the day, which is kind of a weird one when you're streaming question of the day, and then it's like recorded for eternity. So anyways, welcome everybody. So question of the day today, and now like because of all my snafus on the computer, my Stream Deck doesn't work. So I got to remember to click everything manually. Yay! So I was going to try to get it up and running, and I didn't have enough time this morning. So anyways, the question of the day. What tool do you absolutely require in order to run a game? What tool do you absolutely require in order to run a game? So it's kind of a interesting question. Obviously very Game Master centric. But if you're a player, if you've got a special tool that you like to use when you play a particular role-playing game, what is that? So with Game Masters, it could be anything. It's probably more pertinent to like if you play online versus in person, but I am interested to hear about, it could be how you set up your notes, could be how you convey information, could be how you organize, could be anything. So I don't want to give too many suggestions away because I want you to have your own. Like I don't want to influence you, if you will. Oh God, said the I word. All right. What? So for me, I'll start off, I guess, instead of coming in at the end. I would say it depends. Probably if I Notion is probably a big one for me, but I don't use it for every game I run. And sometimes it's more of a pain in the buttocks than it is, than it's not. So Notion, right now probably Discord for my West Marches game. That's probably a big one. Orcus Dorcas, good to see you. Bill Payne, good to see you. Here we go, starting off. I didn't even miss a few here. Let's see, where did it start? Blake says, my brain, the magnificent beast that it is. Indeed. That's a good tool. Roger says, probably these days Notion. Roger's a fellow Notion user. I've seen some of Roger's Notion pages. Very cool. Player character sheets. Yeah, that's a no-brainer there. Low-hanging fruit for, and John's a player. I think that's what he's referring to. So, yeah. Ryan, pencil and paper. It could be just as simple as that for sure. It's funny, pencil and paper. That's why they call it pen, paper, and dice. Although I don't know where pen comes in, right? Sometimes. Bill Payne, a pencil. Got it. Okay. Not a surprise. I was kind of expecting some of those. I should have probably stipulated, like, what tool do you like to use or absolutely must use outside of pen, paper, and dice, by the way. Nobody said dice yet. I'll just nip that in the bud. Harrigan says in person, so he's going to stipulate. Whoops. This jumps around. Dot notebook and mechanical pencil. Online Evernote. Evernote user. Man, is that thing still around? Evernote? It's a good app. I used to use it back in the day. I don't know why. I think I stopped using it when it went like more premium to get all the good stuff. Blake, OneNote. Super handy to organize notes. Orcus Dorcas. Okay, well, good. Glad you could stop by, being on time. They set California clocks a little slow. Is that out there in California? John says, I know a player or two who are tremendous tools. Oh, hey-oh. Harrigan says, I actually have pen and pencil handy. Use them for different purposes. Wayne, Discord in general is always in the mix nowadays, or in real life or online. Victor, good morning. Good to see you. Shambot says, in person, butcher paper for the table. Online, any decent audio and camera or laptop. Yeah. I should probably stipulate it because some of these are going to be like, well, Sean, if you play online, the one I must absolutely have is a computer and internet, right? I'll also say some sort of quick reference sheet is pretty clutch. Indeed. Laramie, good morning, buddy. Wayne, in real life, my iPad, PDFs, Keynote, and notes. Wayne ran a game for our Breakers game at Gamehole Con. That was I was impressed with how he pulled it off the cuff. Or maybe he didn't. I don't know. 3x5 index cards with shorthand notes in person. Notion for online. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I would say Discord's a big one for me right now. West March's game is Notion, Discord. Hands down. Without those two, it would be a fiasco. Orcus Dorcas social media group chat of some sorts to organize the game day and also inevitably reschedule due to players being tools. It's got something in common with John. Roger said I also started recently employing dry erase index cards, which are pretty good for in-person gaming. Yeah, I'm always on the fence with dry erase or dry erase or a erasable white board marker stuff. I think it goes back to my military days and the grease pencil. I don't know if you guys have ever used a grease pencil. It's basically like a crayon. And you use it for almost everything because everything's like laminated, all the maps and all this, and it's just like it's not very smooth. Let me just say that. Did the butcher paper idea. Also love little whiteboards, big graph paper, and my iPad. Yeah. Nubis, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Nubis is starting to poke around Delta Green if you're not on the Discord. It's like looking at running that after having run a lot of Mothership, amongst other things, right? Nubis is multifaceted. Depends on the game. For running light, improv heavy games, I don't need anything. For long campaigns, Notion. For online games, Discord plus Google Sheets plus Owlbear Rodeo sometimes. Victor says, love those grease pencils. No. It's just, man. And I remember, I think it was just like writing it on there and then trying to rub it off and then writing it back on. And it's like, just, ugh. It was, I think, was it before it was back in the day, probably before whiteboards, right after chalkboards. Ted says for both in-person and online, friction erasable pen, blank letter-sized copier paper, and way too many physical dice. Discord for notes, memes, and Zoom for audio and video. Very cool. Ryan, I used dry erase for initiative and are also index cards. Index cards were my final go-to since I can keep character notes on them. I think dry erase, the beef I have is like, well, the good thing is it doesn't just like, sometimes it will smudge, but it might be less likely than like a wet erase marker smudging. I don't know. I have my hang-ups. Mechanical pencil, 5x8, no cards. PDFs in order to quick research. Morning, Eileen. Good to see you. I remember when a teacher would have you go outside and pound the eraser from the chalkboard. Tell me you're old without telling me you're old. Without saying you're old. That's a perfect example, Ryan. Yeah. Guilty. I remember the big ones. Remember the big ones? Like the big erasers? Like smack your friends with them and like get them full of chalk. You know what you doing. Grease pencils and laminated sheets. Some of those pencils colors were either impossible to erase, read, or both. Yeah. Leave them in your car and they stick the pages together. Hobbsy, good to see you. Just me? I'm the only must-have. I think I gotta kick Hobbs. Kick him for being so. We did reference players as tools. So, that's right, buddy. Yeah, for sure. Mr. Hobbs. So Mr. Hobbs is the only tool that I absolutely must have at a gaming table. Well, good times. Good times. Anybody else? Not. Hey, and since you're here, I mean, you've answered the question, and then after that it says like and subscribe. So I would be not a shortcoming of mine as a potential YouTuber if I did not say those words, right? They would revoke my ability to be here if I did not say those words. So one of these, you could do one of these too. Like, it's engagement. So thank you very much in advance. It's also 6 a.m. in California. Not all of us had an early morning game of bowling to get us rolling like you. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I played 3 games. Played a series. 680 series. Can't complain. 720 series. That's true. That's fair. Okay, you got me. What do you mean, Orcus? Eileen, note cards are my go-to, and of course, pencils. Yeah. State law here. What, bowling? All right. All right, good stuff. Let's move on, shall we? Let's do... okay. Oh my God, this is going to be... I'm like a fish out of water because my buttons don't work. So I'm like, which way do I go? Let's see. What is going on? Oh, this will be interesting. I am... Oh, God. So the browser that I need is not... Let's see if this works. Is not the default browser. So, of course, I'm running into an issue. Let's see if I can... Does it matter? So you'd think this was my first time streaming ever, right, guys? Like, come on, dude. What's for real? All right, this may... That's okay. I think I can handle this. It'll be a little clunky, but we'll be all right. We'll get through this together, like we usually do. All right. First up, EN World. Thanks to EN World for doing all the work for me. Go over to EN World and click all their ads for them. What's up, Jim? Good morning, Jim. Good to see you. So PaizoCon 2024 announcements and product reveals. So if you didn't get to PaizoCon out there in Seattle, I think it's still in Seattle. Here's some of the things they announced there, which I don't think was like a huge amount necessarily, and some of these might not be a big, huge surprise to many of you. Why am I like way over there? That's because whatever. What? Nope. Okay. Starfinder 2nd edition. So this is coming to Gen Con. It was announced at Gen Con 2023. The edition will bring Starfinder into mechanical compatibility with Pathfinder 2nd edition. So the playtest period opens at this Gen Con 2024. So you can check that out if you're into the Pathfinder and Paizo lines. Let's see. Paizo is also releasing adventure modules in Starfinder Society playtest scenarios. So that's their organized play. Pathfinder Society it's been around for years and years and years. The first module is called A Cosmic Birthday. His first 2 playtest scenarios, Shards of the Glass Planet, and It Came from the Vast. Release at Gen Con 2024. Empires Devoured, the 2nd standalone adventure, and 2 more playtest scenarios will release this fall. So they're in full crank-out mode. Pathfinder rulebooks. So the design team, this kind of reporting from the keynote at PaizoCon, including Pathfinder Player Core 2 and Pathfinder War of Immortals. So Player Core 2, 4th book, final book in Paizo's remastered core rulebook series, incorporating years of errata and development feedback, as well as removing legacy and content tied to the OGL. So a lot of drive from some of these publishers to get rid of any references to the OGL because of that whole fiasco. So, let's see what else is out there. They also took some time to talk about Pathfinder War of Immortals, the new meta event Striking Galarian, which is announced in April. And then there's a link here to that. Pathfinder Quest. So it's a collaborative dungeon crawler board game for 1 to 4 players coming to backer kit this fall, which is interesting because I don't think they Paizo doesn't do a lot of Kickstarters or crowdfunding. So, board game, throw it up on BackerKit, I guess. So if you sign up for the pre-launch campaign, you'll receive a free metal coin when they pledge for a physical copy of the Pathfinder Quest. Coins are all the rage, I think, recently. Who else? 3 Little Mice have done that for Outgun, the recent crowdfunding campaign. Get in early, get a coin. Let's see what else. As part of the opening festivities, Paizo welcomed the cast and crew of The Gamers to exclusively reveal the trailer for their newest project, The Gamers Darkness Falls. If you've never seen The Gamers, classic. So this is the finale to the Gamers saga. So it was like Gamers, I think the original, and then the next one was like Darkness Rising. I preferred the first one. So I don't know what Darkness Falls looks like, but that's coming to a Kickstarter May 28th through June 29th, which is probably out there right now. All right, so there you go. Almost forgot. Oatmeal raisin cookies are a necessity per Ryan. Got it. Oatmeal cookie, no raisins. Can't do raisins in my cookies. Get that out of here. No, thank you. I pass. Sean, oatmeal raisin cookie? No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't love their games, but I 100% salute their passion and energy. Probably referring to Paizo, I'm guessing. Zweefer. Did I see Zweefer? Hey, Zweefer. Good to see you, man. All right. Let's see. Next one. Man, why can't I just work all this work? And it's not even loading. It's really great. Oh, man. Wish this was... Oh, here we go. But that's not where I want it to be. Rascal. Oh, not that. Come on. Let's try this again. Everybody see my Notion? Come on here. It's not opening. Open. Okay, here we go. Copy, paste, open up other browser. Rascal. Canadian. Hello, Canadians. Are you up north of America? Do you reside in the great country of Canada? Well, this is pertinent to you. Are you an RPG player? Do you live in the country of Canada? Well, then I've got news for you. Canadian RPG Marketplace hops the pond and launches UK site and reward program. Did they leave Canada? Oh, no. Compose Dream Games has launched an indie RPG marketplace in the UK. It already features 36 of their 44 publishers. The marketplace sells to FLGS and Direct and features a PDF reward program. So Compose Dream Games. So it's Canadian-based Compose Dream Games. So you guys buy a lot of stuff from Compose Dream Games? So it's in the UK. So I guess the news is for the UK folks. I misspoke. I apologize. It already features 36 of their 44 publishers. All print titles include PDF guarantee promise, which is extended to those purchasing from their friendly local game store, probably much like Bits and Mortar. If you're not familiar with Bits and Mortar program, some game stores can opt into that. You go to buy the physical book at the game store, and they give you the PDF. They take your email, and then they send you the PDF to your email. Which is great because sometimes we buy stuff online because we get the physical product and the PDF. So, publishers with multiple titles now available in the UK include Buried Without Ceremony, looks like Monster Hearts 2E, The Quiet Year, Genesis of Legend, After the War, Sig City of Blades, Hit Point Press, Humblewood, and Griffin Saddlebag, Composed Dream Games, Simple Heroes, God Killer Prophecy, Fool's Moon Entertainment, Fox Magic, and First Contact, Pendlehaven. Some of these I admit I am ignorant to. Pendlehaven, Fate of the Norms, Ragnarok, Children of Iru, Shouting Crow, Hedge Witch, Wands and Laser Guns, and then Sword's Edge. What? Where's Fraser? He's not here today. Sword's Edge Publishing. It's a Fraser. Ronald is there. That's his company. Centurion and Sword Noir 2E. And then some other notable titles include The Monster Overhaul, Fight to Survive, Free Spacer, Ross Rifles, and This City Must Burn. So there you go. Oh, and I apologize if anybody has yelled at me for not putting the links there. Yeah. Nope. It's going to open up. Here we go. Trying to find the last one so I can put it in the chat as well for me and World. There you go. Ross Rifles. There has never been a more Canadian RPG. Is that true? Are you being facetious, Erican? I cannot tell. Do you own Ross Rifles? All right. Being serious? Okay. This one came across my neighborhood. It came across my neighborhood. It's funny. This one I got from, believe it or not, LinkedIn. I don't know why. I don't know how. I was going through my messages as I do as part of my day job, and there was a person that I had not. Well, it seems off. There was a person. Yeah, this seems off center. Anyways, there was a person that messaged me years ago, and I don't think I ever responded for some reason. So I sorted by unread, and he was like, "Hey, do you play a lot of RPGs or something like that?" And I think in his message, he had this Scepter Club. Actually, no, he didn't have the message. He didn't have this in his message. He was just like, "Hey, do you play a lot of RPGs?" I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, I missed this message. It's fallen through the cracks." He's like, "No worries. Hey, have you ever heard of Scepter Club? You guys ever heard of Scepter Club?" I'm trying to figure out kind of what it is and what it does. It's obviously some type of tool, online software as a service tool, but I thought I'd bring it up today because he's like, if you want, I can get you, in touch with the person that's founding this and doing it. Build character, save the world. So level up your tabletop gaming experience with incredible artists, game masters, and developers at your side. So I think it's to help. Here, I'll go to the About page. Probably better that way. Welcome to our intelligent fantasy art generator. So I think it's a lot of AI, maybe. So yeah, controversy. We are a worldwide. This is too small. We are a worldwide party of role players who come together to make an app that would make the process of playing a fantasy RPG together easier and more visually engaging. So when you play an RPG with your friends, you will inevitably find yourself having to describe your character or provide a pawn. Imagination is hard. Searching takes time. So artists who rely on commissions to make their way are at the core of our philosophy. We are using AI art generation to bring people together around games and oh my God, can I read? We are using AI art generation to bring people together around games, there's something wrong here. Makes getting started and setting up go faster. But our not so distant vision is to bring people together to make more and better fantasy art by having human artists collaborate with AI. Here's the mission. It's a place to make concepts they build fun up for TTRPG gamers and artists. Our business recognizes the value of high quality, unique, on-demand fantasy artwork. I thought it was more than just art, but maybe it will be. We are building a tool for tabletop role players. We are amplifying a community of fantasy artists, and we are making Web3 accessible to emerging markets. And then there's an open call for artists, media contact. So there you go. I don't know much. I mean, all I know about it is the website itself. So it looks like they're hiring. Yeah, AI art for sure, obviously. So some will definitely not like this. Some may find it useful. I don't know. And some of the features. Some of the things the Scepter Club provides. An art club, artistic integrity board, live events. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I don't know. Sean, have you considered trying Netscape Navigator? Isn't that what Firefox is? Canadian experience in World War I when they were issued straight pull bolt action Ross rifles which jammed like mad in the trenches. I gotcha. Harrigan referring to Ross rifles, the RPG. Sean, don't forget to link in the chat. Thanks. There's Ryan. Yeah. So here I will just put this one there. Game creation with AI? Yeah, I don't think it's that. It's AI art and NFTs. Well, Web3, right? Is that what it is? Do you know that, Jim? Is that what you're interpreting? Web3. Yeah. I realized I don't think I saw that the first time I looked at the site, but then I didn't really probe that deeply. So yeah, Web3. All I could say is I just have to laugh at the old NFT thing. So now I'm going to get like crypto bros coming here. And I am 100% serious. It talks about NFTs in the FAQ. Oh. Yeah, no bueno. Pass. Can't. No, sorry. Yeah, my stuff is off. Why is this off? This thing is off. What is going on here? This, like, something is way off on my... Yeah. Does that work better? Like, what is going on here? There. That's better. I don't know why sometimes my stuff gets so whack. Whack, Sean. Now it's better. For all those that get, like, just, hey, that's a little off. You're driving me crazy. I understand. I empathize. I apologize for that. All right. Next. I don't know if you guys have read this. I did not know this existed. So many of you, that's my Wisconsin accent. Many of you. Have you guys read this thing? Principia Apocrypha. So many of us know the old school primer or primer, depending on where you're from, where Matt Finch had written up some time ago. You can, I think, find it online, I think for free. And Matt Finch, if you're not familiar with Matt Finch, he's done Swords and Wizardry, and amongst other things, he's done some work for Odd God Games in the past. But his game is Swords and Wizardry, and it's basically an old white box retro clone. Matt Finch is definitely, I think it would be safe to say that he is a self-proclaimed old school gamer, and he made the old school primer, which is like, hey, if you want to play old school, Or let me explain what old school means and some of the elements of what it means to be old school. And he's updating the primer too. Should be cool. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's been a while since it's been out. If you haven't seen it, just Google it. Matt Finch, old school primer, RPG, and it should come up. Yeah, don't need primers. We've got Hobbs. Oh boy, Blake, come on, man. don't feed him. So this came up. I think I was just searching around for Wes March's stuff, and maybe Shadow Dark. Like somebody was talking about, like how do you run Shadow Dark versus 5th edition or what have you, and somebody said, well, first thing you do is read this thing, and then there was a couple other references, but this was more, pretty interesting. It's got some people that have contributed to it that probably ring a bell with some of you. Ben Milton, right? So from Questing Beast, Steve Lumpkin, GM of Roleplay, the West Marches and other series, and then David Perry, Humble Editions from Neophyte, Syncretic GM, the Lithscape blog, and then some illustrations. So if you are interested in like what is the OSR, if you will, or old school Renaissance, or just old school gaming versus what maybe typical and more traditional, like I don't want to say modern day, I guess modern day, more present, like 5th edition, 3.5. Some would even say 1st edition AD&D is more newer than OSR. The debate continues. But anyways, I thought some of these things was an interesting read if you like understanding the different types or different styles of play. So rulings over rules, divesting yourselves of their fate, leave preparation flexible, build responsive situations, embrace chaos, uphold logic, let them off the rails. So some of this is, if you're familiar with some of this style of an approach to running and playing games, a lot of this may not be new to you, but I always like to read it every once in a while. Even breaking out Matt Finch's old school primer as a refresher is always kind of interesting. So player ingenuity over character ability, cleverness rewarded, not thwarted. So here you go. I will put this link in the chat for everybody to go and check it out. Jim says Principia Apocrypha is good. I've shared the player tips with new to OSR players in my games before. And that's a good point. If you're playing a particular game, like Session 0, establishing the type of game and the tone and all that, the feel, if it's something that aligns with some of the principles outlined in this document, it's probably just easiest, instead of explaining it, just go, here, can you read this? And let me know if you have any questions, to Jim's point. Nuba says, agree, PA is the best primer I've seen. Finch is one of the authors of Osric. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that too. Yes, you're right. Which is, I think, being redone. Foundation Proof of Concept doc for the OSR. Which is like very AD&D. Like Osric is AD&D, right? Like it's just rewritten. Osric is to AD&D as OSE is to BX, right? Yes, they're in the chat, Orcus. No links? Uh-oh. Oh, you know what? Interesting. For Pete's sakes. You know what the problem is? Oh, God. You know what the problem is with the links? It's because the person in the chat commenting as me is a different profile. Great. Fantastic. So, yeah. This creates a conundrum. Oh. I will put links in the Discord channel for all these. Okay? I'll remind. The reason I bring this up is because if I think I switch profiles at YouTube, I'm afraid of what might happen. So that's why the links aren't showing up. I'm not RPG Sean. I'm not logged in as RPG Sean. Again, goes back to having redone I said this last week, right? I don't know if I told you guys, my Mac like would crash all the time. Wayne knows because he saw me on Twitter live tweeting my troubleshooting over 4 days. And so I nuked my entire computer. Took it to the Apple Store, came home, nuked it. So everything has been I will install one app, let it run for a day. I will hook up one other piece of hardware, let it run for a day. So that's why some of this is a little discombobulated. So I apologize. I'll get you guys links. It'll be very easy for me to do that in the Discord. Actually, I'll put it down below after the fact if you want to check them all out. Sorry about that, guys. I just realized I am commenting as myself and not RPG Sean. Great. Tim Jensen, good morning. Good to see you. Tech problems, no worries. Yeah, just roll with it. Thanks, guys. Bespoke artisanal link NFTs, psychic links. Yeah. And then the last one in this category, if you will, must be a Patreon to see the links. Indeed. So as some of you may or may not know, I'm running a West Marches game. You guys are invited. And some of you are playing, so thanks. And as I do, I come across different resources to check out. And have you guys ever looked at Hexroll? If you are wanting to, I have to give Eric Frankhouse some credit. He turned me on to this. He's like, dude, you got to check out Hexroll. It's like $2.50 a month because it's through a Patreon. So the developer has a Patreon. It allows you to log in. There are some free features with it. But essentially what you can do is roll a sandbox. You click this button and it comes up with this. It says realm template. You can hit a drop down for realm type, and you could select from empire, lands, kingdom, duchy, and island. Okay. And then population, you could hit the drop down and you could say generate now, or I'll add population later. So we'll just pick generate now. And then terrain, you can pick between 6 to 12 regions, like between this amount and this amount of regions. And the regions obviously are like mountains, forests, grasslands, hills, swamp, water. And then underneath it has all these, you can't see my mouse, but all these fields, you can kind of change the randomness of some of those coming up. So if you want it to be more mountain heavy, you can increase the numbers under mountains, and then you can dial those in if you want. Underneath, you could put dungeons, number of dungeons between X and X, X and Y, X and X, X and Y, and then dungeon types, caves, temples, tombs, dungeon size, settlements, ends, dwellings, factions. It goes on and on, right? So you go, oh, yeah, okay, this looks good. And then you hit generate. So it's thinking. I didn't blow things up. Yeah, Hexroll. Nubis says, Sean, seen Hexroll, it's nuts. Yeah. West Marches. Funny. You're funny. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. Oh, my phone's going to, that's all right. Yeah, it looks cool. You can go there. So it's hexroll.app if you're like bored and you want to pull this up during the stream. Mountain Heavy was my high school wrestling name. Roger he's hyped today. He is probably because he's running a game. So he's on it. He's on the ball. He's on the ball today. Heyo, he's got the Rodney Dangerfield going on. Wait until he shows the zooming into dungeons. Okay, yes, good point. So here's the kingdom of Caria that it comes up with. So we scroll in. Okay, this is the big kingdom. I'm scrolled out. As I scroll in, the names come up of the different areas. So now I have the Aurora Fields to the left-hand side, right? The Crater Ridge Half Moon Crags. The blue is obviously some type of water, right? Stream, river. And as I zoom in, they become a little more obvious. So now I could scroll. I can obviously move this around. So to Harrigan's point, here I see one. If I scroll in, so right here in the center of the screen, south, there's the black apple step. Okay. As I scroll in, you could see the river kind of being animated. You can barely make it out probably on stream. So if you keep going into a hex, you'll see that there looks like a little entrance. So let's see if I scroll in on this hex. You can scroll into the dungeon. Right? Like you can keep scrolling. I don't know. I think this is about as close as I can get. All pre-generated. You can unlock this, and then you can also, like down in the lower left, you kind of see some of these things changing color as I scroll across them. So there's a die roller, and I click that, and it pops up in the upper left. Some of these tooltips are not popping up, but, well, here we go. If I unlock it, I can change some of these things. So unlocking it allows you to kind of do edits. Yeah. The thing about this is, and it warns you, so I'm going to scroll out, is you can create another, you can create another region or another continent, if you will, and then you could bolt it onto this. Like literally just, and you could move it, and you could, well, I want to put it over on the far west coast where that, indentation is, and it'll just click right into those hexes and expand your world even further. If you delete, so say I want like the Aurora fields deleted, all of the things that are in that area, if they're related to other factions that are maybe originated from there or it's populated throughout the map, will break all of those links kind of thing. So it does tell you like, hey, if you're going to delete stuff, just be mindful that you'll have to rebuild all of those relationships again somehow. So there is a little bit of a, hey, word of caution, especially if you're just kind of dinking around. You're like, okay, cool, but I got it right where I want, but this isn't going to work. And you nuke a bunch of hexes. It can affect the rest of the map and some of the things that are connected. Is it persistent? So it is, because you log. I think you log, because I don't know if I'm logged in right now. And there's a custom URL too that I'm sure, right? So if I copy paste this URL into another browser window, it's still there. So it's a unique URL. There is also a backpack app. I'm not quite sure how that works. So you can download it for Windows. Let me just go to the front page again, Hexroll app. You could download this for Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and then there's the source code on GitHub. If you really want to check into this, there's a video on YouTube that they have that's on the site. So hexroll.app. And then you can kind of page through here. Also, so let's go into that one place again, right? So let's go into this. Right? So if I click on the hex, instead of zooming in, let's just say, hey, we're going to go to this hex. Here, I click on the hex, it comes up with the description. There are several large craters in the green fields here. Something violent must have hit the ground from the sky in the past. The Shrine of the Twisted Desire, which is highlighted in the description, is hidden under the ruins of an old fortress. So if I click on the Shrine of the Twisted Desire, it zooms out, then it zooms into that piece. So I don't have to if I don't need to, but I could just click on that. And then you'll notice that the description changes. So it says conspectus, possible creatures, gold, wandering monsters. And I'm trying to scroll, but that's it. So now if I go and click on a room, it says foreshadowing. A successful listening roll could detect sounds that the chimeras are making inside the area. And then it says doors, doorways, south side, west side, north side, east side. There you go. There are descriptions. I didn't realize that, but now I haven't dinked around with it as much as I need to. An engraved stone altar is placed here, and the walls are deeply fractured. There's something moving. And then it has the Chimera's stat block. I don't know what these are. Do you know, Harrigan, if these are, it says THACO 12, but it also says +7. So I don't know. Is it 1.8? Is it first edition? Second edition? I don't even know. Yeah, it's nuts, right? And then so let's say there's these check boxes. I don't know if I unlock it, I could check those off. And then there's a spoiler, like, so if I can't, so I can, there's a spoiler thing where I just undo that. I think there is also a way in the back pot, like Eric's like, what I do is he allows them to, like, you could drop tokens on this, I believe. And then he allows the players to see this stuff like a limited view or something like that. So there's something you can do around that as well. Looks like BX or OSE to me. Okay, thanks. Harrigan says, as I cover up some of the things I'm looking at. Yeah, it's, Nubis says, yup, it's insane. Wayne says OSE, possibly. Tim says, if someone combined this with an LLM, you could describe what you wanted conversationally. Maybe it could do recursive edits for you too. Harrigan says, I need to investigate it more carefully. Ran across it a while back and then forgot about it. I need to see if the text is accessible. So you, OSE has THACO and the reasonable plus to hit. Okay. Cool. So is there a player-facing side, Fog of War? I think so. I haven't gotten to that point, but I believe there is. So there's the app. Okay. Going back. Let's see. Click on 14. That's why. So going to this whole Eric's or the warning it tells you about deleting a region is because some of these things are hyperlinked to each other. So it might say like the faction of the BSer faction. Find members of the BSer faction here. And if the BSer faction's like home base is in the north and you delete their home base, maybe it deletes all the links of the BSer faction throughout your entire continent. So it does tell you like, hey man, if you delete stuff, you're going to break a lot of things. The only thing I was going to use this for West Marches. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. But I already have a map. So I was hoping like, well, maybe I can create a map and then just use the generation component to make it happen. I could still use this for West Marches and just make it a region past what people have explored. Nobody would know the difference. And then just keep what I have already that's closer to the village. I'm not sure. But there is something to be said about like random rolls and creating it yourself and things of that nature. But this is this is pretty damn cool. Okay. So dungeon crawling, you have towns and villages, right? Visit cities, towns, and villages with annotated maps. Play offline. So here's the play offline piece. Liberate your sandbox. Download a pre-rendered snapshot file and view it offline using the Hexroll backpack. So that's the thing that's Windows, Linux, Mac, cross-platform. I think it's just kind of a dummy app where you export this snapshot and you can load it into the backpack and the backpack can read it, right, appropriately. And it says all exported content from Hexroll 2E, the second edition of the app, is licensed as Creative Commons Attribution, non-commercial, share alike, and OGL. Even edit and reroll. Want to tweak things further? Not a problem. You can add, remove, or reroll sandbox entities. You can also directly edit the content and add your own lore or link inspiring images. Um, I want to do this and improv some games on the Hexroll Discord. People are running games using this as setting up. Sean, did you show Kids in Capes? I have not. Thanks, Ty. Good to see you. All of this just show how limited current VTTs really are. Yeah. If you have a TPK and wanted to create a campaign area at short notice, this would be handy. Yeah. There's my answer. VTT maps. I would like this better if you could incorporate player character backgrounds and interests somehow. Hexroll 2 is connected to Roll20. Oh, is it really? Still scrolling. Here's online VTT maps. Hexroll now has a built-in VTT mode. Share and reveal your hex map and dungeon maps, hex by hex and area by area, online and in real time. Add PC or monster tokens that you or your players can control. So here's what you get for just anybody can get for free, and then patron subscribers. $2.50 a month, man. It's a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer. And I don't think he has any other levels. You could add more. Like he has a Patreon where it's like, contribute $2.50 or name your price. And you get all these things. So the things that you get for the paid version versus the non-paid include extra map themes, persistent map state. So to your point, Wayne, you were wondering. So I think if you do it just one-off, it disappears. But if you're logged in, then it probably associates it with your account is my guess. Extra sandbox backup, and then service availability. One is best effort and one is monitored for patrons. And then there's a Discord fringe benefit. So Discord access, you get standard. If you pay, then you get full, which is probably some extra channels. Excuse me. And then there's some disclaimers like to conserve storage, ephemeral sandboxes are kept online for a month and then they get discarded on the free version. So it's a fairly limited time. Patron Brave Adventurer sandboxes are non-ephemeral and use non-expiring online storage with backup. So it's pretty damn cool. I would you could spend a while on there. Like Nubis says, that thing's madness. $2.50, Ty. Yep. Yeah, you can get there through Roll20. Oh, interesting. Okay. 100% Harrigan and or overly complicated. Although they're built to support all kinds of games, Hexroll is quite specific in the Shadow of Tower Silver Axe style. So anyways, I thought that was something everybody should know about. Specifically, here's the deal. Okay, so you're not playing West Marches. You're not really doing sandbox. You have a group of players, you just want to play, and you need something really quick. Boom. Like you could just customize it to like 1 hex, 2 hexes, like very, very small, have it random. Boom. Where do you guys want to go? We want to go here. Boom. You just click on it, comes up with stuff. Yeah. Don't thank me, Eric Frankhouse. I'll give him all the credit for bringing it. Oh, dude, you got to check out Hexroll. I'm like, what? It's like, the thing's fantastic. I'm like, oh, whoa, okay. So look at this. So this screen in front of you right now. So look at these continents in front of you. Like these are each like randomly generated, and then you could bolt all of them together. Like this far left, these 3 kind of strung together in this picture. Yeah. That's a lot to explore, though. Holy cow, can you imagine? So, yeah, there you go. Spend some time dinking around with that, boys and girls. Yeah, I might have to pivot. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways. Right now, everybody's quiet because they're dinking around with it. Too funny. Yeah, Pangea. There you go. So it'd be great off night game or solo game. Yeah. I don't know how it prints necessarily. Like, I don't know if you could just go like print this hex and it just prints out like the map and all the details and the dungeon and everything, where you could take that to a game store and run it. I don't know. But yeah, it is. You come across one of these resources, and you're like, yeah, people should know about this thing. If they use it or not, they know it exists. It needs a better dungeon generation and compatibility of customizing the random tables. Yeah, well, and yes, to Tim's point, it's not going to be for everybody, because obviously some people are going to be like, well, I play this system, so the stat blocks aren't overly useful to me. But I don't know. It's pretty good, but the dungeons are randomly generated, and it's pretty shallow but very broad. Yeah. For example, I might want to place portals at random throughout some world locations. Well, it said it's editable, so that's maybe an option, Tim. Yeah. Anyways, that is not the link that I want. Don't you hate it when you're like, I did just copied, and then you paste, and it doesn't paste the right damn link? Can I just get an amen? All right. I'm blaming it on technology when it could totally be the user. All right. What? Let's try this again. Next year. Yeah, next year it'll run smoother. Print news. Oh, man. Oh, man. Print news. From Ian World, so some things that are coming out and being released. I thought there was something else that fell outside of Ian World, but regardless. First one, Local Legends Green Dragon Encounter by Steamforged Games. It's for 5th edition. Could be for anything, honestly, but with stat blocks, probably 5e. It's $25. Green Dragon. A couple encounter booklet, illustrated map, 3 miniatures. Cults of Rune Quest, The Lunar Way by Chaosium, hardcover supplement if you're running Rune Quest. Next one, Victorian Hero by Hero Games, Heroes 6th edition Volume 1 and Heroes 6th edition Volume 2, softcover supplement. Provides mechanics, talents, equipment, characters, monsters, villains, as well as a large amount of information on the Victorian era's technology, politics, social norms, and economics. War of the Throne by Edge Studio, which is for the Genesis RPG for Twilight Imperium. Red Solstice Magazine, Issue 4, Fight Weird by Exalted Funeral. Softcover zine for $26. Includes a team of superpowered fiends for use with Longshot City RPG. Magical weapons like magical trebuchet, discount potions and lotions. And the People's Distributed Remote Outstation, a sci-fi micro-setting set in the distant reaches of space and a few different stations. Sin, Spire RPG and GM screen. So Sin delves deeper into the world of Spire and includes 2 classes, the Divine Confidence Trickster Gutter Cleric and the Necromantic Bureaucratic Mortician Executioner, and 3 adventures. And then the GM screen has some stuff too, core rules, summary, districts, Marvel Entertainment, Marvel role-playing, multiverse, cranking out some material for $50. Includes 6 adventures that can support a campaign that takes the PCs from street-level heroes to cosmic champions. That's what you guys are. Cosmic champions. You're welcome. Cataclysm, let's see. That's Cataclysm of Kang, sorry. And then Poly Dice of Unusual Sizes. So if you are a DCC fan, this is going to interest you. This is by DCC, Dungeon Crawl Classics, by Impact Miniatures. Let me rephrase that. It's by Impact Miniatures for DCC. They're pretty much the dice house for all the DCC dice. If you're not familiar with DCC, Dungeon Crawl Classics, they use dice stepping. So they use D4, D3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, percentile, 12, 14, 16, 20, 24, and 30. 30 doesn't get used much. Some of those other ones do. So instead of increasing and decreasing the difficulty, you just tell the person to step it up or down a die. Pretty interesting. Discount lotions, gross. Yeah, sorry. I caught myself after I said it and thought, yep. Yeah, thanks, Harrigan. Smash the like button if you're a newcomer, if you haven't done it already. Wait for the X-Men book to be out for Marvel. There you go. That's all I got for that. Let's see. Crowdfunding. I'm going to start off with something non-RPG. Yeah, non-RPG. What do you think of that? You guys might like this. You guys might know about this. You guys might have backed it already. G.I. Joe. Who's in on this? Who's the G.I. Joe fans? I think this is every G.I. Joe book, comic, right? That they're putting together. It's got 25 days to go. It's at $1.5 million. 4,000 backers. So the goal was 50 grand. They blew that out of the water. So it's a definitive hardcover collection of the original G.I. Joe, a real American hero comics. If you are a G.I. Joe fan of the comics, you gotta get this, right? You have to. With Cobra or Joe covers. Says Zwiefer. As a statement, he is telling us. I'm not a big comics guy anyway, so. But I figured you nerds out there that love comics and G.I. Joe, well, you guys probably already know about this. I did not, but I think the lowest, the digital PDF is $30. Duke, hardcover copy of the Joe edition G.I. Joe. So I think it's right. The alternate covers. One is 75. Yeah, one is Destro, Duke, Destro, Chuckles. So if you're wanting just one, you got to pick one of the two, and they're 75. I think for the hardback. There you go. There you go. Last days for the King's Poisoner. Act now before it's too late. V2S Games is crowdfunding standard and deluxe limited edition box sets of the popular Australian pick up and play tabletop RPG, The King's... Did I say prisoner? Poisoner. The King's Poisoner. It's now on backer kit until June 2nd. Today is June 1st. We're recording this. So run over there ASAP. So one of you is the king. Everyone else is going to either assassinate them or rat out the conspirators to save them. Who will you trust? What will you dare? Who will be king? The King's Poisoner is a thrilling, out-of-the-box tabletop RPG game of love, loyalty, ambition, and murder. The Third Floor Wars did this, Roger? Are you on there? Did you play? I did not know Craig did this. Third Floor Wars, Craig Shipman, RPG podcast. Actually, what Roger's talking to. Oh, you participated. You played in this, Roger. So, Roger, okay, awesome. I did not realize that I had streaming royalty in the chat. Awesome. So, Third Floor Wars streams, and then he also has an interview podcast. Oh, Craigie. and a Discord server. All right, I think I'm caught up with you guys. Saw King's Poisoner on Third Floor Wars. There you go. Great game. Okay, I thought it was interesting, like, pick it up and play type of game. There you go. Let's see. Next. Hunter's Entertainment. This is the one that Ty's jumping up and down in the chat about. Sean, kids and capes, do it, yeah, Sean. When are you going to do it? Are you going to do it now? How about now? You going to do it now? Here you go, Ty. Rascal News. This is from Rascal News, although I think it's out on the campaign side of things. Hunter's Entertainment launches Kickstarter for Kids in Capes. The all-new offering from Hunter's Entertainment offers adventure, exploration, real-world experiences influencing super-powered fantasy. If you have seen the aesthetics before, it's the same group that's done Kids on Bikes. So there you go. It launched on the 29th, so a couple days ago. Action-packed, immersive superhero story that introduces an exciting brand new battle system to the robust Kids on library. The game features a list of 6 dynamic capes: the tactician, the tank, the cryptic, the brawler, the guardian, the shooter, and a robust power system that players of all ages can enjoy and immerse themselves in. So check it out. I will tell you this: Kids on Bikes did not deliver on time. So if you're okay with that, set your level setting proper expectations. So that's out there. There you go. Check it out. In my head, I'm still in bed, Sean. Fair enough. Too funny. Michael Holland, good to see you, buddy. I assume this is lighter than Masks, Youth Angst Wise. I don't know. Maybe? Not sure. Just wanted to get that out there for fear of Ty hunting me down. Other things that are out there. So EN World, again, not affiliated. I get nothing from EN World. They get nothing from me other than maybe you guys going over there and clicking all their ads. So here, EN World's on their crowdfunding page. For some of those that are newer, they will feature crowdfunding campaigns that are essentially in the last week of their campaigns. So some of these you might say, well, that's been out there for a while. Yes, they have. But they don't typically publicize when they've launched. It's usually at the end. So leading it off is 13th Age. It ends June 6th. Core rulebook, 40 quid for the PDF. PDFs of both books. Second edition. Big write-up. Lots of stuff going on for 13th Age. It is funded. Now, I have to admit, 261,000 quid, 50K goal. Nothing to balk at, mind you. Congratulations to those folks at Pelgrim Press, right? That's what's released under still. Excuse me. I don't know. Would I have expected more? Here's the thing. It probably makes more in the FLGS distribution, is my guess. Because I thought 13th Age was pretty decent. A lot of people picked that up. What's up, Breeding Aid? Good to see you. Moving on, the Oracle Monster Generator. It's by Nord Games. So some of these I'm aware of because I'll back like one project the company ever put out, and then I get like every single email ever that they want me to know about. And the new, like this thing, I think I've gotten probably 20 emails about this coming. Hey, you're gonna back it. It's coming. This is what it's gonna be about. Hey, it's coming. So, this is on BackerKit, $62. Nord Game does put out good stuff. You want to make monsters quickly. This project offers 7 decks with a total of 420 tarot-sized cards. Provide you over 1 billion combinations to generate up monsters from. It says it's system neutral, so no stats, but enough text and flavor to make an interesting monster when you don't have an encounter mapped out. I find, like, I think I have their Realms, Lost Realms. Must have moved the box because he was behind me. Next one, At the Gates, from Onyx Path Publishing. It's on BackerKit, Story Path Ultra. I didn't go in to see if these were all funded because they're on BackerKit, but so sorry about that. The Sassoon Files, not to be confused with the Vidal Sassoon Files. Second edition from the Sons of the Singularity. The Call of Cthulhu 7th edition project. Set in 1920s Shanghai. 325 pages with 7 scenarios that range from the investigation of a sorcerer that leads to a lost city and drugs that allow time travel to traveling up the Yangtze River in a gunboat to discovering a demonic water spirit to infiltrating a Japanese military police deep one slaughterhouse and other mysteries. It's $118 for the PDF and print versions. And it's funded. Operation White Box brought this up. Mr. Spawn. So this is in the ends of its throes. It's at, $3,000 goal. It's funded at $19K. This is a second edition-ish, I guess, but being BX based. So if you've heard of White Operation, actually this isn't considered Operation White Box, but it's the same individual. A Conversion by Pete Spahn. There you go. Castles in the Air. A standalone successor to the award-winning Good Society RPG by Story Brewers Role Playing. Core rulebook. $129 Australian dollars. Inspired by Little Women and Anne of Green Gables. There you go. Funded. $59K at 20. The Darkness of at the Brink of Ohio. By Banana Chan. From Game and Curry, LLC. Original system core rulebook. There was, I think, an article featuring this, if you wanted to know more. It's funded. 12 of 8K. You're listening to a late night radio station in Ohio when the DJ begins transforming. That grabs your attention. You can't turn the channel. This game provides a framework to write a horror journaling experience. Your character is at the gas station listening to something horrible transpiring while the rest of the world sleeps. It's a simple premise, but there's a lot to explore as you hear the horror blasting through the speakers between songs and commercial breaks. If the idea of a solo horror experience speaks to you, check out this page to get the vibe of what's being offered. There you go. Hey, Tyler. To me, 13th Age is the most fun and playable version of superhero fantasy RPG. Bold statement. Bold statement, says Wayne. Wayne puts his fist down. Done. He threw the mic on the floor. Bam. Too funny. I do. Some. You guys are too funny. What else? So that's it for crowdfunding. Thanks, Egg Embry over at EN World. Appreciate your service. Thank you for your service, Egg. There you go. Unfollowed a bunch of companies for spam. I don't mind a Kickstarter update. hey, we've got a few new project, but the incessant emails gets the hammer. Yeah, and I'm Sean's mantra is be positive, and I'm like nagging on everything lately. Yeah, it's a little much. Here's the thing with the Kickstarter or crowdfunding campaign emails is I used to have them filtered into a folder, and then I realized, shoot, I'm not getting the hey, we need you to fill out this form so we can get you your stuff email. That was the problem. So I literally am forwarding every crowdfunding campaign email to another email address. So I have a very coveted personal email address that I don't give to anybody. And if I do give it out, it's only to like literally a person I know. And if there's an email there, I look at it. It's starting to become an email address I don't look at. And the reason is it's the most amount of emails that I get to that email address is crowdfunding campaigns. So now it's being drowned out again and losing its like priority on my end because it's all those are not priority. Except when I see like, like Dolmenwood is a good one because like when they put out an update, it's literally like, hey, here's a product ready for you to download. So it's like, oh, okay. But that's not the same as all the campaigns I've ever, like one campaign I backed, 3 years ago and still getting emails every time they come out with something new. And I'm like, I gotta unsubscribe from those things. So anyways, all right. So we were a little over what I anticipated. Thank you for everybody joining. I really appreciate it. I think the Hexroll app was the thing that took a little bit, but I thought it was well worth it, I think. Right? Email in 2024 is miserable. Couldn't agree more. It's just old. Yeah, I can't stand it. Tim says there's too many similar games. 13th Age, it gets lost in the 5e USRC. Yeah, it's a big pond. Victor says, I've unfollowed several from the Kickstarter page or one bookshelf. I have not found a good way to unsub from BackerKit yet. Yeah. The struggle is real. I think you can trust your cat with the email address. You think so? I don't know. Augie? If Augie could talk, he would call me, instead of like, fur babies would call you mom and dad, potentially. I know it's getting weird, but Augie would be the guy that would call me Sean. He would be that angsty teenager that would call me Sean. As a matter of fact, my wife often says that. Okay, Sean. I'm hungry now. I would like some food or I'm going to knock everything off of every flat surface in this condo. Unsub doesn't even work half the time. That's why I like Gmail. It's like unsub. I think it does something in Gmail too, but I think it also can flag it for spam. So that's the thing. If I unsub and I get one more email, it's automatically spam. Or I've even considered, I have the email. I don't want any more. I click the unsubscribe button. It takes me to a website and unsubscribes me. And then I've contemplated hitting the spam button on that email. Yeah, I'm not getting any more of those. But it's not what I like to do because I've done email marketing in the past. Not me, but I worked for an agency that did. And it can really ding a domain. So sometimes it's like, yeah, they are spamming and they don't know canned spam laws and they're being a-holes. Sometimes they just don't know what they're doing. So, if I subscribe, I don't want to spam. I don't want to mark them as spam because that I opted in. Anyways, it's email, whatever. What are you going to do? My cats would call people big, dumb monkey people. Too funny. Yeah, BackerKit unsubbing works for me in Gmail. Yep. Don't you be dissing our Augie. Yeah, he's right behind me. Zonked. So yeah. Anyways, let's get you guys on with your day and your weekend, huh? Kind of went over, so appreciate the sentiments. Thanks, Shambot. Want to thank all these people that have supported me financially, Patreon. Also, John and Aaron, and Brandon, who also support me here on YouTube, that I don't typically give a shout out to. That's why their names look different in here. So, thank you everybody who joined. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. It's good to see some of you new folks, some of you that have been gone for a couple weeks, return. Thank you so much. Good to see you as well. And yeah, John, good. Glad to see you, man. I hope you can make more. I understand if you can't, but hey, I'll be here every Saturday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Try to keep it. It used to be 2 hours. Now I'm getting it down to about an hour and a half. Eventually get it down to an hour so you guys can do stuff. So thank you so much, everybody. I will get links down below. I have to remind myself because it's not part of my normal workflow, but I'll put in all bit.lys and short links so you guys can come back after. Now, here's the thing. When I get done with these streams, the video may be accessible, but the chat doesn't come up. And I had to tweak down below with all the notes and put that in there. So I will do that. So if you don't see it, now or today, I'll try to do it by the end of the weekend. And you can check it on Monday for all the cool links that I went through today. So anyways, be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. Go play some games, have some fun. That's what I'm going to do in a half hour. I'm going to go play some Feng Shui 2 with the Grave, a.k.a. Roger French, with a few others. I don't know what character I'm playing, but it's going to be a bang-up good time, I'm sure. And then West Marches is still going and continuing. That's good times and fun times. Loving every session, playing with a lot of you. And yeah, spend time with people you appreciate. Take time to yourself if you need to. It's okay. Getting away from like everybody and the noise and just kind of like being alone or peace. Taking a walk. Gather your thoughts. Life can be worse, but it's not. We all go through stuff. So best of everything to you folks. We'll talk to you later. All right. See ya. That's it. Where I gotta hit the stop button. I don't know what I do. My button doesn't work.